morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Tuesday, February 21st, 2017. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. Lloyd's of London has confirmed that they have a new chairman. It's going to be former Marsh Europe CEO Bruce Carnegie-Brown. Mr. Brown is going to replace John Nelson as the Lloyd's chairman in May. Mr. Carnegie-Brown, like Mr. Nelson, has a background in the banking industry, but also Carnegie-Brown does have experience in the insurance and reinsurance sector. Carnegie-Brown is currently the chairman of Money Supermarket Group, and he's also the vice chairman of Banco Santander. His appointment was unanimously approved by the Council of Lloyd's and the Lloyd's Franchise Board. He also had experience as Marsh UK CEO, where he was named as the CEO in 2003, and he was promoted to chief executive for Europe and the Middle East. He was also in 2015 made non-executive director at Banco Santander, and also had a stint as non-executive chairman at Aon UK back in 2012. So he does have a background in the business. Ed Broking, the London and global insurance and reinsurance broker, has completed the first arrangements in Iran that will see the London market provide capacity backing energy industry projects in Iran since sanctions were lifted. The sanctions were eased in January. It now becomes possible for the London market to provide capacity directly to industrial projects in Iran. According to an Iranian newspaper, Ed Broking has arranged the reinsurance of 3 energy projects in the South Pars fields in the Persian Gulf, where major energy companies such as Total are actively developing the gas fields for commercialization. So this is a big deal for Ed Broking, one of the first into Iran. There was a plane crash in Melbourne, Australia earlier today, killing 5 people. 4 of the deceased were American golfing tourists, apparently, and the pilot of a chartered plane. The plane crashed into a factory outlet mall alongside a highway on Tuesday morning in Melbourne. It was rush hour, and people on their way to work saw the plane flying just over the highway and crash into the mall. They were killed outright when the plane erupted into flames. The plane was a twin-engine Beechcraft Super King, and it was driven by or flown by a man who had 30 years of experience. This is the worst crash in Victoria in civil aviation in the past 30 years. There was a 4.7 earthquake yesterday in Panama City, Panama, that caused skyscrapers to sway and led to the evacuation of numerous buildings. There are no reports of any damage or injuries. The quake was centered about 51 miles south to southeast of Panama City at 2:35 p.m. local time yesterday. Police in Barcelona have detained a man after shooting at a truck loaded with butane gas canisters that was speeding the wrong way along a highway. They opened fire on the vehicle as it headed toward Barcelona City Harbor earlier today. The detained man was a Swede. He had a history of psychiatric problems, the Spanish Interior Minister says. The truck was driving on the wrong side of a ring road in Barcelona at about 11 a.m. local time. Police came to the scene. The truck had rammed several cars before police finally fired several times to stop it. The Spanish Interior Minister said that this was not a case of a terrorist act. Of course, Europe is still on edge after the truck ramming in Nice. You might have noticed that Mike Pence and the Defense Secretary James Mattis were at a security conference in Munich over the past several days. Also present there was Bill Gates, the Microsoft founder. Gates made a speech in which he warned that hundreds of millions of people could be wiped out by viruses that have been genetically engineered by terrorists. He said this makes bioterrorism a bigger threat to humanity than nuclear war. He said natural epidemics can be extremely large, but intentionally caused epidemics could be the largest of all. He said with nuclear weapons, you'd think that terrorists would probably stop after killing 100 million people, but smallpox and other diseases will not stop. Once it gets out and begins to spread, it will be unstoppable. He said developments in genetic engineering were escalating at a mind-blowing rate. He said that biological warfare ambitions, once limited to nation states, are now available to smaller terrorist groups with limited resources. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.